We are back today on Football Manager 26 for the ultimate day one guide. This is the perfect video for all brand new players and veterans who aren't sure on how to play Football Manager 26, all the way from the very start, setting up your first save to the very end of finishing your first match as a manager in the Football Manager universe. We're going to go through everything in between that so you guys can go on into your journey and become a fantastic manager. And then over the next couple of days, we are also going to have videos of the next way to becoming a good Football Manager player and then to mastering Football Manager. So if you guys are excited for the FM26 journey, make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's get into it. Your ultimate day one guide. And we are going to kick this off right at the start from starting a brand new game because you guys wouldn't even have done that yet. The game is released as I record this and it's going to be a whole bunch of new players that have never played Football Manager before. Now, if you're on console, this should be very, very similar. And if you're on PC but didn't pre-order, again, it's going to be very, very similar. Now, you can either do a quick start career, but I always recommend doing the advanced setup career as that will give you more players to sign, more wonder kids that regenerate, and different leagues to manage in. Now, this is the screen you come onto and you have a bunch of active nations. And based on my experience, it is always better to have more nations as view only and then the ones you actually potentially want to play in as playable and view only below. For example, in Germany, I need to know all the information that happens in the Bundesliga 2 and above, but also I want to know about the third tier as well. So we put playable and view only below. We'll have the information from the third tier and we can also play in the second and first. Say we go to the Colombian first division, I'm never going to manage in this league, but I do want new players to spawn in from there. I want up-to-date statistics, so we're going to set that to view only. I would recommend you do this as much as possible. Pretty much every league in the game I would tend to load, and I actually have a downloadable file which will be available for free on the Patreon down below, where people that are on PC will be able to download this base setup folder, put it into a game setup folder in your Sports Interactive folders, which I'll go through in a minute's time, and it will load up this game database start, which for me is absolutely perfect. Not only do we have all the leagues loaded that I will potentially ever want information from, we also have an updated player count. If you set this to large and you then come to continents, South America, and to Europe, again, this seems like a lot, but this is exactly how you want to set up your saves so you get as many wonder kids coming to your game as possible. Current international players for European teams and players from top clubs. Same goes for South America. And when it comes to Africa, North America, Asia, and Oceania, you want to set this to just players from top clubs. And this will give you a massive database of players. In fact, it's going to give you over 110,000 players. If your PC is not good enough to run this, don't stress. I would recommend taking off Asia and Oceania, running at about 95,000. Again, if your PC isn't very happy, take off different bits and bobs, but make sure you're at minimum running on a large database size. And you can see here my PC is like a mega PC for recording, streaming, and everything. It says relaxed, it runs very smoothly, and I'm completely happy to do that. On the right-hand side of Game Start, we're going to set it to whatever league you're managing in. Transfer mode, always I play as original. While Real World and Your World is cool, original is just better. Advanced settings, these are how I set my games up. If you want to allow first transfer windows, have that box ticked. If not, don't. And again, for the in-game editor, if you want to edit things in-game, which will be a downloadable file for, I believe, £6 from Sports Interactive, unless it's gone up in price, then you can tick that button and you can edit stats or transfers and stuff and basically just have some fun on the game. If you want full realism, turn that off. And then preferences, again, this is completely based on your PC, so do as you want to. After that, simply click Load Database. If I can just ask a massive favor, around 65% of you are not subscribed to the channel, and if you gain anything from this video whatsoever, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and hype it down below as well, and comment what teams you're going to be managing on FM26. And for that, I would highly recommend you go quite nice to yourself. Go with a team you know a lot about, or a better team, as that's going to give you sort of the basic groundworks of how Football Manager works without too much of a challenge. So if you're a Manchester United fan like me, my first save is always United because I know everything about the club. If you're a fan of Barcelona, manage Barcelona. Just to get used to the game, do one season with a team you know a lot about or a dominant team in the league, and then delve into your deeper saves. And again, there'll be videos out over the next couple of days of how to progress in them sorts of saves as well. But for the sake of this video, we are going to manage Manchester United, and I imagine a lot of you don't have a manager. So we are going to go through creating a manager because it is actually quite important. Not how they look. It means absolutely nothing how they look. But the other bits of it, yeah, they mean a hell of a lot. So go through and put your name in, your born location, and then you eventually get to these screens, which have a big difference on your reputation and how clubs see you as a manager, which is a huge change to FM26. And this is where even players that have played the game for 10 years before will have no idea what they're doing. So don't panic. Now, this completely depends on how you are going to manage your career. If you're managing someone like Barcelona, you want a maximum reputation possible. If you're doing a non-league to legend or a lower down team, you could set it so you're a lower league veteran and you've just got experience through playing football. For the sake of this, we're going to go with a generational superstar. We then come on to our coaching. What do we do before becoming a manager? You could be a coach, you could be a scout, you could be a medical expert, you could even be a pundit, or you could be a referee. Again, completely depends what you want to do for it. You then set how known you were for it. I'm going to go, I was a recognized worldwide assistant manager. So I am like the ultimate kind of coach already. People already know who I am. I'm just taking a step into management. In terms of our licensing, again, completely depends on what sort of save you're doing. If you're doing an unemployed challenge, some people might go, I'm an absolute legendary assistant manager of football. I was a fantastic footballer, but I haven't got a job yet. You can see your reputation is still very, very good because you haven't got any licenses or anything. You don't really have your, ability to manage, but you don't really have any qualifications or anything yet, but you are still a legend in the world of football. Or you could be literally like a global megastar. You have got everything in terms of your licenses and you are like the best manager on earth in terms of reputation, which is a very, very big thing on Football Manager. You then get taken to your coaching style. Now, this really does matter. This will show what the board might expect from you. If you go in there as a defensive manager and you go, no, I'm going to play attacking football, they're going to be very confused, and so are your players. So always set this to how you like to play. For me, I like to play attacking, entertainment football, and I like to develop youngsters. You can see here on the right-hand side, this changes my defensive ability. This changes my goalkeeping ability. This also changes my working with youngsters. If you set this to a tactician, this will make my tactical, technical, and possession better. You can go through and tweak this as you wish. For me, this is how I like to be a manager. And then you have your personality. Are you a convincing person? Are you an inspirational person? Are you driven? Are you disciplined? Are you resilient or are you accomplished? For me, I'm going to go with driven and accomplished. I know what I want to do. I want to go out there and do it. And that will set up your manager profile. You can see based on all of that, we have our tendencies like play attacking football, play entertaining football, develops young players, highly driven and acclaimed achiever. So all of these things will go into what a club and what players expect from you as a manager. And once you've done that, simply click start game and you will now become the manager of your team. It might be fun to read through that if it's your first time, but simply click begin career and save the career as whatever you want to as you play. Now, this will bring you on to the main new Football Manager screen. And this, as I said, has changed completely for FM26. On FM24, much more dull than this. This looks absolutely incredible with a Premier League license in the background. When you play the Champions League, you have that, Europa League, Carabao Cup, etc. And we're just going to go through the inbox. Welcome to Manchester United. There's nothing to do there other than read through the history of the club. They hire Manchester United as a manager. This is how the supporters act, and they expect to play entertaining football, develop players from the youth system. Probably because I said that's what I want to do and why. I'm a Manchester United fan in real life as well. Club vision and expectations. This is what the board expects of you for this season. Qualify for the Europa League is a requirement. If you don't do that, you will get sacked. So make sure you're doing it. Reach the latter stage of the FA Cup is preferred. Being competitive in the Carabao Cup doesn't really matter. What does matter is working towards developing some of the best youth systems in the country and the world. So I'll probably just click off that and accept the current vision as I'm happy with what they have said. The FFP regulations, we are currently absolutely fine. If you were managing someone like Sheffield Wednesday, it would tell you you are not doing well with FFP and you're about to get a transfer ban. And then your selection rules, simply outlining the competition rules of the Premier League. You then have these 4 different tasks. You can do your club vision, which we've done, your tactical introduction, which we will do, and your responsibilities as well, so you can set up your staff to do different things. Again, something we will do in today's video, and your squad introduction, which will just take you through some different players. Like, it will tell you your captain, it will tell you some of the players in your senior team, it will tell you, how good they are, and it will tell you your youngsters, like Diego Leon, and because I'm on the beta, it's currently bugged where it doesn't show these people, but They will all work in a day's time. Once the full release is out properly, it will tell you all your injuries. It will again tell you your board requirements, and it will give you a nice overview of how your club is set up. A really good thing if you're going into a job, in the future, or a team that you don't know anything about. That screen is going to be really helpful for understanding a basic overview of your squad. And that's your day one inboxes done. From here, head to your squad. Now this screen again looks very, very different. On these three little buttons at the top, you have your main team, you have your under 21s, and you have your under 18s. We're going to concentrate today, of course, on your main team. If you click into the tab, this is a squad view that I have created. Again, it will be downloadable on the Patreon for completely free, but it might look a little bit different if you're on console or if you're first time on the game. It will probably look more a little bit like selection info, I believe is what normally comes up. If you drop this drop down, head to general info, it is definitely just a slightly nicer screen for you to look at. Again, I will be using my custom view because this is how I like to look at the game. Tells me everything I need to know, and again, it's downloadable on the Patreon down below. Just based on that, I should probably show you where you would put them files. If you click Sports Interactive, Football Manager 26, and then you have this folder set up here. For the different views, you need to create a file called Views. For Tactics, create on full Tactics. And I believe that is where there's the game setup one as well, which is DB setups. If you're then not on your selection files in your documents, just make a folder, call them exactly as we have them set up here, drag and drop them into there, and they will work when you set up the game or load in tactics or load in squad views. Now, of course, this gives us a very nice generic overview of our squad, but we need to look into the tactical side of the game. And there is two different ways to get to the tactic. Either click back on squads and you have tactics here, or new to FM26 is the bookmark section where you can completely customize this, but generically will be there is tactics. And you'll now have to create your first tactic. Now, if you want to be brave and create your own system, you can just set up a very simple clean slate tactic, do it exactly as you want to do. If it's your first ever time playing Football Manager, or you're just trying to get used to the game, use what the game recommends. Vertical tiki-taka, gegenpress, or control possession are good for Manchester United. We're going to set up a control possession side. Formation in possession, we want to play what Amarin plays in real life, the 3-4-3 system. And out of possession, rather than go too different, we can either go over 4-3-3, a 3-4-3 DM narrow, which simply moves the wingers inside, or the classic what we've got now. We're going to stick just to go into narrow, moving them wingers inside and making it hard for teams to break us down in the middle. Click confirm, and that will very quickly build your first ever tactic. And again, there will be a video out on the channel over the next week or two on exactly how to build a tactic for your team. My best recommendation for this is quick pick, so that your assistant manager will put out your best team, or go through and select players based on what you wish. Then go into each individual player here. So like Mbumo, we'll click on this left-hand side. He is best as a wide forward or an inside winger. If one of them roles suits how you want to play in-game, use that role. It's going to massively just help show what the tactic you want to do, and it's what he's best at. Bruno Fernandes on this right-hand side. It recommends that he is a playmaking winger cutting in from the right-hand side. We'll do that because we've then got an attacker on the left-hand side looking to score goals, a winger playmaking on the right-hand side, and up front, big Benjamin Sesko. You can use any of these roles. His stats aren't going to change too much. Now, if you look into this key attributes section, you'll see they change based on what the different role requires from the player. So a deep lying forward is going to require better passing, better technique. A centre forward is going to be more about scoring goals, heading the ball. Strength. A target forward is going to be, again, heading the ball, jumping reach, bravery, aggression. A poacher is going to, imagine, have a little bit of acceleration in there. Can he beat the last line of defence? Channel forward, once again, is going to have different stats. And then the false nine is going to be all about linking up play as well, which obviously Benjamin Sesko is not meant to do. We're going to stick him as a generic complete forward. And again, you could just go through your whole team and do this as you wish. Go through each position, build out your tactic in possession. And of course, this season, you have in possession and out of possession. Now, you can also change the role by clicking on the right-hand side rather than the left-hand side. The right-hand side role is your out of possession role. You can see here, once again, Mbumo clearly favours just being a generic attacking midfielder. Bruno Fernandes, very similar. However, he's just as good as being a tracking attacking midfielder. He tracks back, supports the defence, which when we click our team instructions, go to out of possession, you can see Bruno is sitting a lot deeper than Mbumo because he's coming back to help out the two defensive midfielders. Again, tactics will be very confusing if you're a brand new player to the game, you don't know much about football, or you've never played Football Manager. This will be a lot to you. This will be a lot to take in. Don't deep it too much. Go as basic as possible. Just try and play a style of football that you like to watch in real life would be my #1 recommendation. When it comes to team instructions, I actually think these are massively improved for brand new players. You know, it's very visual of what you need to do. You can simply just go through each one of these and change it to what you want by using the arrows at the bottom. If you want to play long ball, for example, set this to more direct and high in terms of tempo. You can play quick, direct, long ball. If you want to do attacking width as nice and narrow, and then build up through the wing backs so that they're building up each side, but your cams are sitting centrally, then you can do that. You can click through each individual position on the visualizer and change it there as well. But my personal recommendation would be clicking this all instructions button, going through this. It's going to make a lot more sense in your head. Once you've done it, zoom out, double check your tactic. If you're asking your team to sit very deep with a high line of press, use your footballing brain. You're probably going to get done in the middle of the park because there's too big of gaps. Football Manager is very realistic in the tactical side of things. So be careful on what you do. Don't go too crazy. And the same goes for your tactics. You know, if you're going to build your own tactic, be careful. Football Manager will warn you this year if you're being a bit too outrageous. I mean, I'm going to do something very stupid just to show you. But say Dorgu, we want him in possession to go and sit upstairs with Sesko. It will give you this big warning button and say, look, there's way too big of a gap from your left wing back to playing as a left striker. You will get cooked down that left-hand side. Out of or in your combined, it will look very, very weird. And it just won't work. You will get absolutely dominated on the left-hand side. So if you get this warning button, just take a little bit of notice. Change it back a little bit. You know, maybe you wouldn't playing slightly higher up as sort of an inverted central midfielder. If we go into cam, it's going to be a little bit too much. But you could have it so Mbumo comes into that role and Dorgu goes an attacking left wing back. And now you have a very aggressive left-hand side. Just look into what the game is telling you. If it's telling you something's wrong, I'd recommend listening to it. And again, when you then move players back into position, their roles will change back to a generic role. So for Mbumo, we need to click back onto him and make sure he is set as a wide forward. But that is very simply how to pick your team. We've obviously done it using the assistant manager and then build your tactic. If you want, you can then completely clear what the assistant manager says and come in and do this yourself now that you've learned how the tactical system works. And you can now make your own team and your own tactic. Now, we are about halfway through the video and there is a lot more to go through today. But please, if there is anything you don't understand or don't know, just put a comment down below. I reply to every single comment here on YouTube. If you are genuinely confused about something, just drop me a question. Ask me in the comments down below. I will help you out as soon as I see the comment. Because we could go through literally everything on this screen, from what stars mean to what information means to... We click on this screen and look into your youth setup button or loans. There is so much I could go into. Training, contracts, all that sort of stuff, which simply would be a 50-hour video. And you guys need to just kind of fumble around and work it out. And that's, again, a really big tip. Just play the game. If something's broken, it will tell you. If you get an inbox saying your training's not working, players are unhappy with it, it will tell you. You won't just be expected to know them sort of things. And my next sort of tip is to come to, if you go to your club on this section at the top and click on staff, you will get this lovely screen come up. I would recommend clicking on responsibilities, and anything you are not sure on or you are not confident in doing, just make sure a staff does it instead. It makes it so much less stressful. If you can't decide which team to play in each game, you can literally make it so Carlos Fernandez, the assistant manager, picks the team instead. If you come down into staff recruitment, which to be honest, I very rarely do, you can make it so Omarada, the chairperson, who realistically should be doing this sort of thing, hires them instead. Your first team staff recruitment goes to Jason Wilcox, director of football. Under 21s, again, I shouldn't be doing that. Under 18s, I shouldn't be doing that. Coaching courses, why on earth would I pick it? Johnny Evans is going to do that instead. Director of football, that can go to Omarada. I don't need to know about that. Staff renewals of contract, I don't want to do that. I'll delegate that to recommended for the 21s, for the main team and the under 18s. Click this confirm button. you will now not have to deal with staff whatsoever. The game will completely take care of that for you. You come down to scouting responsibility, to assign scouts. You can take control of it. So you can do it yourself, or you can ask Christian Vivelli to do that as the chief scout. Handling scout meetings. You know what, Vivelli, you can do that as well. I'm not really that interested. Confirm. Transfer and contract responsibilities. If you don't want to do transfers, you can delegate that to someone else. If you don't want to do contracts, if you scroll down to the bottom, delegate that to someone else. You can literally set the game up so you go in, manage, leave, go in, manage, if you want to do that, just so you get used to the game. This responsibilities tab will massively help you out. Media. If you don't like doing the media press conferences, click media, delegate to all. You will never have to do a media conference again. If you eventually get to a point where you're a lot more comfortable with the game, come back and put these things on. Training is something which I still really struggle with and haven't got to terms with in FM26, and I've played a lot of the game. Delegate it. Carlos Fernandez, you do it. I haven't got the time to learn training. I don't want to learn training. Carlos Fernandez, just take care of it. I'm here to manage the squad on match day. Tactics. You can literally go and do, so you are literally just managing games. Set pieces. Delegate that to someone else. I don't want to deal with it. And you can see now, in your overview, you've only got 23 different responsibilities. And if you scroll through this list and you're like, oh, actually, I don't want to initiate signings for 2021. I want to leave that for someone else. You can then just come back to delegation, go to transfer and contract responsibilities, handle, find and sign young players from the 21s, delegate that to Jason Wilcox. He can go and start on 21s to the future. It's not something I want to be doing. Again, come back here, scroll down a bit, negotiating player sales done in 21s. You could go for this for ages, but the staff responsibilities, the game is so big and so broad. Make it as basic as possible for yourself so you enjoy your experience. And as you get more and more attuned to the game, start to take some responsibility back, one step at a time. If the next thing you want to do is training, take the responsibility back and learn how to do the training. And again, they are going to be bits which we pick up in other videos on the channel. So for all the sort of guides you might need over your journey on FM26, we are going to be doing pretty much every single guide possible over the month of November and the start of December, so that pretty much anyone coming to the game for the first time, come to the channel, subscribe, and you will learn new things, probably 2 videos a week on how to do different things in the game. So there is already things up on the channel like how to do recruitment focuses so you can sign a bunch of Wonder Kids, how the brand new transfer room works, mainly about scouting. I've done a lot of scouting videos. Or, you know, we are releasing a video in the next coming days about Moneyball. If that's something you want to go into, I'll be teaching you guys how to do that as well. Now, if we click back onto our portal and onto our main screen, we can see here we have the Premier League in the bottom right and our fixture schedule in the top right. And my next game is against Arsenal, but I actually want to play a friendly so I can sort of get used to the game. If you click that tile, click arrange friendly for, let's do the 5th, so literally the next day, 90 minutes, choose a club. This will give you clubs which are down to do a friendly in the next 24 hours. Let's just do Wolves, so we have a good friendly, confirm it, and in the next 24 hours, if we click complete introduction and you've done all that, so it will say continue, we will get a message very quickly pop up on this left-hand side to say Wolves accept a friendly proposal. And once we go to the next day, we'll be able to play our first game. You will get different inboxes come up as you continue through, like this code of contact. Again, I'm not interested in doing this. You can set it, to be fair, so that if someone misses a training session, 2 weeks wages. You can also just ask Carlos Fernandez to do it for you, and he'll go ahead and do exactly what's needed. You can see, anyone misses training, they get fined a lot of money very, very quickly. So you don't want to get on the bad side of Carlos Fernandez. And again, just if you don't want to pick it, just set your assistant to do it. As I've clicked forward again, we have had a dynamics introduction. So this is going to teach you, who your captains are, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. It's going to tell you your team cohesion. Currently, not very good. As you play more games together and as you don't, sign 15 players a summer, your team cohesion will grow. If you constantly sign loads of players, sell loads of players, you will have a poor team cohesion because the dressing room atmosphere is very, very good. No one is unhappy at the club whatsoever. You then have this lovely little hierarchy chart showing you other players, influential players, highly influential players, and team leaders. If you click that, you'll get this screen here. It will tell you that Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and Harry Maguire are the team's leaders. You can see just simply other members of the squad like Sena Lamans, Bayindir, Malacia, Reece Bennett, Dorgu, Yoro, Heaven, and me don't have a big sort of sway on how the dressing room acts. However, if you were to annoy Harry Maguire, you'd probably hear from everyone because he is a team leader. You then have the training introduction, and like I said, I would recommend you just hand this over to your assistant to decline the introduction. You then have meet the players. Introduce yourself to the squad. You don't really get much choice here on what to say. You have to literally click every single thing. It will just basically tell the players what you're like as a manager as you click through them, and they will get a better picture of you as a manager. Again, set pieces. We've delegated that to someone else. We'll decline the introduction. And then you get your monthly loan status summary, which you will get every single month, showing you how different players are performing in their loan spells. Joe Hugel at Barnet played 1 game, got 1 assist, but has played pretty badly. You know, you could do whatever you want with that information. If you want to cancel the contract in 6 months' time when you can and send him somewhere else because he's performing badly, you can do that. But again, that's quite an advanced thing to go on there and do. That should pretty much be it now because we've done all of these. So dynamics is all done. Click continue, and we should be about to get to our first match as Manchester United manager. I'm not interested in speaking to the menu. It's the media. Decline that. Media, rubbish. Don't care. We can now see we are at 8 o'clock on the 5th, which is our first game. So that will now change from continue to review team selection. And because it's a friendly, we might want to play our first team. We might want to let a few young players play. So if you want to do that, but you can't be bothered to go through and do it, this quick pick button allows you to do exactly that. You can pick rotated team, full rotation. You could pick youth prospects. You can pick just the best 11. We're going to today pick a full... we'll pick youth prospects, shall we? We now have Chido, Bruni, Cunha, Malacia, Mainu, McAvoy, Dallo, Nwashi, Maguire, Heaven, and Hardy in goal. That's the team we're going to play for today's game. As you can see, everyone is fully fit. They are all needing match sharpness. Click go to next match, proceed to next match, and it will load up your first game. If you click to address the team, you can then go into your team meeting. On console, this is slightly different. There is like 5 options of encourage, get angry, and do different things. Click whatever you feel like doing. They all pretty much say different things while saying it. Once you click like angry, it will say here like, I expect a win today in an angry mood or something like that. Again, we don't need to talk to the media, and we've now got a lovely sort of way the game loads up, which is beautiful, isn't it? I mean, this is a massive improvement on any Football Manager ever before. So if you're brand new to the game and you've never seen what Football Manager looked before, it was awful compared to this. And this is a huge, huge upgrade. And the most exciting thing about Football Manager now is it has moved to the Unity engine. So over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, this game is going to progress so much, you know, from the user interface to the match engine to loads of different things. And your game will now load up and play. Now, I'd recommend pausing it straight away and coming to your settings cog. You will most likely be on extended when you load the game up. Just play on key. Don't worry about dynamic mode either. As you can see here, it's the smart mode, which selects modes depending on context. You know, if you're winning 4-0, it will show you less highlights, just goals. If you're in an FA Cup final, it will show you all of them. I have played this in a video coming out soon. It is incredible when you're in a crunch match. But for general matches, key highlights are absolutely fine. Match speed during highlights, 1.25 is brilliant. There's currently no 1.5 mode, which is quite frustrating. If you want to play on a 1.5 mode, there is a mod on PC you can download. But again, that's quite an in-depth thing. 1.25 will be absolutely fine. Match speed during highlights, I normally set to 40x. However, if you want to be a bit more analytical in how your team is playing, change it to 20x. And then highlights-wise, we have replays coming on for goals we score, and I also have show opposition replays turned off. You can turn that on. In terms of how your graphics is going to be, completely based on your PC. Because we're on the beta, the game has been a little bit buggy in matches, so I've had it on balanced and it's been much better. If you're on an absolute god PC and the game has been released and there's less bugs, change it to high and the game will play better. Change it to low if you're on a worse PC and the game will run as smooth as your PC wants it. Or you can go to custom and go and change all the different things, and yeah, don't worry about that. Choose one of these, I'll click on balanced, and we'll just let the game play out. Now, this screen is what I mean about changing it from 40 times to 20 times, because now we have a 2D pitch that goes on throughout highlights. So you can see here, Wolves are building up possession, we've managed to win the ball back, and you'll get a good picture of how the game is going based on what speed you do this on. If you're playing on 40 times, it is a lot harder to tell. So already we can tell in this game we're being dominated. You can see that here from the match stats. You can see in possession how both teams match up. If you click the little white button, it will show you out of possession, how they're matching up and how we're matching up. You can click this one and it will show you the team's assists, XG, goals and rating, and the exact same for Wolves. If you are playing in the Premier League, you'll be able to click that other little button. It will show you the scores and the table. But other than that, there's not as much to do in the game now when the match is going on. We have conceded our first chance. Obviously, we are playing the youngsters, and Wolves have come out here with a full-strength team, which is very, very helpful. But the whole kind of point in this is to show you how the game works. There is no shouts anymore. You used to be able to shout to your players. Apparently, it made absolutely no difference, but was slightly more immersive. What you can also do is come in and change your tactics. There is a tactics button in the top left. You'll get brought up your tactics screen. If you're noticing that, obviously, we're playing more direct and higher tempo, that's not working. Just come in here, drop the tempo down, confirm the changes, and away you go. Them changes will integrate into your team. You'll start playing the ball a lot shorter, and you'll notice that in the highlights as well. And that is how to play your first game on Football Manager. Sadly, we ended up losing that game 1-0, which actually isn't that bad considering the team we ended up putting out there. And you can see we were decent on the ball possession-wise. We had good shots on target and good shots overall, and dominated the game, but lost, I suppose, due to playing youngsters. So there you have it. That is the ultimate day one guide to playing Football Manager. If we now were to go through and continue, you would get to your first game against Arsenal, which would be in the Premier League. And as I said, we'll be doing a 3-part series on, your first day of Football Manager, which is this video, sort of how to become a pro at Football Manager, and then mastering Football Manager. And every video will have new extended tips on how you guys can get better at the game, start taking back some of the responsibilities. So if you did learn anything today, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. As I said, comment down below anything you need help with. I will be there to help. And of course, like it as well. And I'll speak to you guys next time. Have fun playing FM26.